Yo, what's up, man? My name is Typhus, Typhus. Now allow me to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Typhus, I produced myself. And you here with me today, born in Washington, D.C. in the USA. But my parents are from here, so I love S.A. Whenever you're watching this, for one real reason. Grew up in Aldos, where the thugs don't play, so if I'm rough around the edges, I was raised that way. To share in the Q&A for my latest single, Jordans On. Let's go.
I got Jordans on, homie, I got Jordans on. I got Jordans on, homie, I got
So
Jordans
basically, man, anyone that knows me, and if you've been bumping to my music, you know one thing about me, man, like authenticity, right? So I don't rap about things that I don't live, you know what I'm saying? I'm not out here talking about when guns were clapping, because real talk, man, when we moved out of El Dorado Park, I'm not, been involved in guns clapping, since at least I was a youngin', you know what I'm saying? So all my music is based on what's real to me, the life I live. So at the end of the day, man, like one of the things that's really become a big part of my life is, sneakers, man. And it's really crazy because I remember being in high school in grade 10 and it was my birthday and I asked mom for a pair of sneakers and she was like, I can't believe I'm buying tackies basically that are this expensive, and it wasn't even a pair of Jordans, right? My first really dope pair were a pair of LeBrons, the first ever pair of bronze to come out, But what that started, man, started this crazy love for sneakers, and since then, it's really just, grown. And every time I put a pair of Jordans on, man, it gives me this type of feeling, So what had actually happened was I think I went to go get a set of beats from the producer who did this track, and that's Silas Beats. Shout out to the homie Silas Beats. And I was actually, of course, wearing a pair of Jordans on the day, and he played me the beat. And when I listen to a beat, I've already got, the beat tells me, it speaks to me, and it says to me, yo, take me in this direction. So basically, he played the beat for me, and just trying to see how I would rap on it, what I would do, I started doing this thing, homie, I got Jordans on. And I was like, ooh, that's, whipped out my phone, made sure I noted that. But that was now the idea that stuck in my head. And then from there, man, it just built into being authentic about the rhymes. And everything I say in the track is real, man. I mean, there's parts in the song where these Jordans got me feeling privileged like a white man. I mean, it's also just trying to be playful, but also addressing real issues, you know what I mean? So people always talk about things like white privilege. But at the end of the day, man, if you can wear multiple pairs of sneakers that are, 3,000 Rand, that kind of price, you've also got a level of privilege yourself. And I also had to realize that about myself, right? So that's what I mean when I talk about those kind of things. And that's really, why Jordan's On and how that came about.
These Jordans got me feeling privileged like a white man. Let's go, fam. I feel like we doing the right
Working with Silas Beats, that was really cool, man. So at the end of the day, like I've said, authenticity is a big deal for me, and that's one guy that you catch up with it. And funny thing is, we've even had chats about this kind of thing. He's a dude that's doing really well, really talented, really gifted, really smart, but also doesn't give off this air of I'm a big deal. I am, so that was the first thing that kind of to me spoke to me about who he is as a person. And at the end of the day, I feel like music is not just, you don't just hear or listen to music, you feel me? You feel music. So if I'm gonna make music that you feel, I gotta work with people that I feel I can work with. So for me, that was one of the things. Just a really authentic guy, makes really dope beats, and also so knowledgeable, man. I mean, this is a guy who will literally say to you yo, I don't really think that's gonna work. And once you've moved your ego aside, you can literally listen to him and go, all right, man, cool, let me try do, And that was really helpful because I find with a lot of producers, it's here's the beat and that's it. But at the end of the day, man, if we're going down this track together, I kind of also want the input from the person who made what my voice is then going to be on, right? Because that's a big deal. It's one of the first things I always say to producers also. If you don't, I will often send producers some of my past songs and say to them, this is who I am, this is what I'm about. Because if they can't listen to that and go, yeah, I would like to work with this guy, he sounds like someone that would sound right on my beats, then I think it's already gonna be a waste. So that's exactly the process, I went through with Silas Beats. I remember the first time we connected, I played him some of my stuff that I'd already done, even some stuff where you're literally saying to the guy yo, this has not yet been mixed, I'm just playing you the raw that we've done in the studio, so understand that. And you sort of got a feel for who I am, feel for my style. And then it was just really cool, man, working with the guy who's worked with other really dope artists. And it was quite dope, man, and I enjoyed that. So it was a really great process, and we've of course collaborated for a lot of, I've done a lot of stuff on some other beats of his. So yeah, it was really cool, man. Working with Silas Beats was a blast. And if you ever have the privilege of doing so, man, like take it all in, because that dude, real talk, man, it's a good dude.
Once, Kobe's two, Yeezy Boost and CO2s. I got Jordans on, homie, I got Jordans.
What is my favorite pair of Jordans? Yo, man, I feel like, so this is a tough one, man. It's a bit like asking a parent to choose their favorite child, right? But let me say this, in terms of, and you can tell by what my cupboard looks like in terms of, the pairs of kicks I gotta say Air Jordan for me, and that's what it is. Air Jordan for me has gotta be dope. So the Jordan Air Force sort of collab and an alliance, those I think for me are really fresh. And that's really the style of the 1985-84 pair of Jordans that he first came out wearing. It's basically that Air Force One Jordan. The Air Jordan for me has got to be it. In addition to that, I'm also really falling back in love again with the retros and retro 3s. Really want to go through a whole palette and color range of those. And the beauty of it is, man, you can never have enough. I say the beauty or the problem, I guess, but you can never have enough, man. But yeah, it's got to be for me my favorite. If you forced me and you said, it's either that or you're killing me, then I'll answer, and I would say my favorite pair of Jordans is the Jordan Air Force Ones.
That's Jumpman, got kicks that MJ wore when he was on Space Jam, got new pairs and...
What advice do I have for artists trying to make an impact and coming into the game? First of all, man, I'm the type of person, I'm not the type of person to be out here saying, I've got advice to give, because that implicitly suggests I think I know better. So I'm not giving advice because I think this is, someone watching, this is advice I'm giving. Rather, what I'm saying to you is what I have learned, and you can then take out of that whatever you want. But from my side, I think the important thing is to realize that success might look differently for different people. So what I mean by that is some people think that success is only ever going to be being on TV all the time, being spoken about in the media all the time. And that is success too, don't get me wrong, and that's great. But if you're always looking at the same avenues, you're going to forget or you're going to ignore other potential avenues. So for example, the odd times that I've done a jingle, the amount of money, for example, that's paid me, often, and I'm not gonna lie to you, right? The jingles I've done have very often paid me more than any single song I can think of. And that's literally writing an 8-bar or a 16-bar, recording it, getting it on a beat and sending it off to the marketing or advertising agency that asked for it. So things like that is what I'm saying that people need to think about. So often think about what you're trying to do and be authentic to who you are, right? Because trust me, the world doesn't need another Drake. So if you coming out sounding exactly like Drake, you know what I'm saying? Or when that Panda song was big, if you're gonna come out and make another Panda song, you're doing what's already been done. And yes, there are formulas, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, do what you think is dope. Do what you enjoy. Because if you're going to enjoy it and you're not trying to be anything else, then it's authentic. And if people come out and enjoy what you're doing, which is authentic, then that's just great. So I would also say patience, man, because sometimes you start and you drop a song and you think it's the greatest song you're ever gonna drop. And then you realize 3 years later when your next big song comes out, actually, I got better. So if you think about that, you also need to think about success overnight happens for some, but for most, it does not happen. You gotta keep plugging away, you gotta keep working, but also, man, networks are so important. Don't be disrespecting people you work with or thinking certain people. And I know it sounds very preachy, man, and that's not what I'm about. But what I'm saying is what I have learned is that if you can humble yourself and just deal with people on a human basis, you will find that you're building relationships that you grow with. The type of relationship where you've not spoken to someone for 2 years or whatever, but when you do, it's almost as if y'all never stopped, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what I'm saying. Remember that your networks and that kind of thing is so important. But if you add all of that up, I think, yeah, for me personally, you're good as gold, man.
Kid is a star, kick game fresh, just bought a new pair, got retrofits, that's Jordan Air, and I got a few pairs that I might never...
Typhus frequently asked questions. Okay, so one of the obvious ones is, when is your album dropping? And look, man, at the minute, we've obviously, come out of, C19 last year. So I didn't want to put the album out and then not be able to perform it. At the moment, there's no exact date. A lot of things, I think the planning, for me, the biggest thing is planning. So once I'm able to plan around a release date, that's when I'll know what the release date is. But until I've got all the plans, so what do we want to do? What are the metrics we want to achieve? How are we going to gauge success? Until I've put all of that in place, I don't want to put an album out there, because once you put an album out there, there's a lot of, and also, man, I feel like the world is moving in directions that might not even make having an album out the best way to go. So it's just figuring all of those things out. But trust me, man, the album is just about ready. The music is there. I got a lot of music. So, stick with your boy, man, and you know what it is. All right, it's a wrap. Yo, first off, man, thank you so much for checking this out, for coming out. And if you enjoyed this, man, seriously, send the link to your friends. Send the link to your peoples. Tell them your boy Typhus, Jordan's on. It's out. They got to get it. Jordan's on. It's available on every platform. Wherever you stream, download, access, or listen to music, just type Jordan's On by Typhus. It's there. You gotta get it. As for where you can get me, if you wanna hit me up, you wanna say what's up to your boy, like I said, we keep it real, we keep it 100. I stay authentic. On Twitter, it's @IamTyphus. Check out the pinned tweet there for my link to the single. If you hitting me up on IG, it's @TyphusMusic. The link is in my bio. You gotta go out and get that. You gotta hit me up, man. If you're on Facebook, just search Typhus Music. The profile is there. We out here, we there. You can find a link there too if you want. But you know what it is, man. TYPHUS. It's been good. Thanks again for watching. I'm out.
Let's go, fam. I feel like we're doing the right thing. I got Jordans on, homie, I got Jordans on. I got Jordans on, homie, I got Jordans on. Got AF1s, Kobe's too, Yeezy Boost and ZO2s. I got Jordans on, homie, I got Jordans on. I got Jordans on.